Let's look at adding routes to your server. Let me open up my console, and if you had already seen my REPL video, you know what I'm doing here. I'm just testing my snippets of codes before I implement it into my actual application. Here I'm requiring the URL module of Node.js and storing it in an object called URL, and also assigning a domain name with a port number and a path name is about here, to another variable called myURL. Using URL object, I'll just parse my URL. So I'm interested in parsing the URL, so I'll make use of the function parse. So we have different resources available here with the parse method. I'll pass in my parse variable and access the host name, which is technotip.org, and I'll now access the port number, which is 3030, next the path, which is about. So just check my URL, the entire URL, the domain name, the port number and the path. So let's get started with the actual application here. Adding routes to your server. We require URL module and HTTP module. HTTP module to create the server. As we already know, the create server method of HTTP object passes in two objects to the anonymous function, which is request and response. Inside this server, I am taking a variable called myPath and assigning the user request URL, which is present in request.url, and its path name. We are only interested in the path name and not the domain name and its port. So we parse it using URL object and with the help of parse method of URL object. If the path name is just a /, which means it's an home page technically, using res, that is response object, I'll call write head and pass 200, which means OK, and the content type information to the header of the client, which is browser, plain text, and I'll call the end method of response object by outputting a string onto the web page, which is home page. If it's a /, then it's a home page. Else if the path is /about, the user is requesting service using the some URL port number /about, which is /about is the path which will be fetched by URL parser. If that is the path name, will display about us. Next, similarly, the contact root. If that is the case, if that is the root path, then will display contact us. At last, let me show you redirection too, which we had already covered in our previous tutorial. I'll include that too here. If he types path name as my name, that is Satish, I'll just redirect with 301 redirection and specify the location to be redirect, that is homepage, a /. So the text remains the same, that is homepage. So after all these conditions, else whatever other paths are, show 404, that is page not found error message on the browser. Well, this is our routing information for the server. At the end, bind the listen method at port number 3030, or else people asked me why 3030, so I am taking 8080 here. You could take any port number because this is your server that you are creating using Node.js. So the local host IP address is 127.0.01. So the console log server started. Well, people do this mistake often. They directly go to this IP address with this port number and think, why the hell is the server not responding? The simple reason is because you haven't started the server yet. Go to the console window, navigate to your folder, and execute this file first. So we have an error here, that is the C, that is console, in the line number 34. So let me make it smaller case. We need to execute it again. So the server started. Now go to this address. Oops. Well, look at this. The server terminated by itself. Error is present in line number 8, which is here. I have just misspelled it. Make it smaller case. So execute again. Server is running. Go here. Okay, it's working. Home page, and the server is running too. Now go to /about. So the about us. Now contact. Oops, this should have redirected to home page. I have a mistake here. We need to restart the server whenever there is a changes to our JavaScript file. Now let me come. If something irrelevant, it will go to 404 error. So this is how routing can be implemented to your server. So please share this video with your friends. Well, this is the basic routing methodology just by using HTTP and the URL modules. Going forward, we will use web frameworks like Express. Well, Express is a web framework for Node.js. We'll be covering it in upcoming video tutorials. Stay tuned. For now, share this video with your friends on Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, Twitter, StumbleUpon, etc. Stay subscribed to technotip.com, technotip.org, and to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to like this video on YouTube.